My friends, welcome back. Today we need to talk about something that exploded across the political world, something that shows the danger of speaking fast and checking facts later. Senator Tammy Duckworth went on CNN, delivered a dramatic, forceful accusation, and then within seconds walked it back live on air, creating one of the most confusing and self-defeating moments we have seen from a US senator in a long time. This is not about left or right. This is about credibility. This is about leadership. And today I'm breaking down exactly what happened, why it matters, and what it reveals about the political chaos happening right now. So let's get into it. On CNN, Senator Duckworth was discussing a controversial military operation, the so-called double tap strike on a suspected drug trafficking boat. She came into the interview ready to make bold accusations.
House and Senate lawmakers are deeply divided along party lines over whether a deadly so-called double tap strike on a suspected drug boat in the Caribbean was justified or violated the laws of war. Here with me now is Democratic Senator and Army combat veteran Tammy Duckworth. Thank you so much for being here, Senator. Secretary Hegseth defended his actions again yesterday. He compared the operation in the Caribbean to the fight against terrorism in Iraq and Afghanistan. Listen to what he said.
What people think is cavalier or cowboy about it is the exact opposite. These are the most professional Americans going through specific processes about what they can and cannot do, understanding all the authorities, all the laws of war, all the capabilities, and applying it to deter our adversaries. The catch and release program of the pat them on the head and release them so they can go back to the fight didn't work in Iraq and Afghanistan, and it's not going to work in the Caribbean.
Like Secretary Hegseth, as I mentioned, you are an Iraq war veteran. What's your reaction?
Well, there was actually a vote by Congress to put us at war in Iraq and Afghanistan. There was no such vote. There was no such debate here in this situation. So the fact that we do have professionals, our military men and women are the utmost professionals. The problem is they've not been authorized to be at war. And by the way, the individuals in that boat were not even aimed at the United States. So everything that they've done has been illegal. It's illegal under international law. It's illegal under the Geneva Convention. And it certainly is even illegal under domestic law. It was essentially murder with that double tap strike.
I mean, that's a very strong statement. Murder, does that constitute a war crime? Is that what you're saying?
It is a war crime. It's illegal. How will you put it? It's all illegal. Look, Dan, I've been shot down behind enemy lines under the laws of war. If a pilot bails out, he gets shot down, he bails out, he's in a rubber dinghy in the middle of the ocean. Under all the international laws of warfare, you are supposed to help render aid to that individual. Even if they have a radio and they're calling for their side to come pick them up, you're not allowed to go back in and kill them, even if you know that they're going to conduct future operations against you. That's the Geneva Convention. And so everything that they did here was illegal. In fact, the two survivors were clinging to half of a boat in the middle of the ocean and had no access to a radio per the Admiral's briefing. And so, yes, all of it's been, the whole operation is illegal to begin with.
Said the strike was illegal under international law. Essential murder, a war crime. And the way she framed it, she made it sound like she was speaking from direct knowledge, from first-hand evidence, like she had seen something horrifying with her own eyes. So when the host asked her a straightforward question, have you seen the video of the second strike? Duckworth responded clearly, yes, I have seen the video and it is deeply disturbing.
Senator, have you seen the video?
I have seen the video, and it is deeply disturbing. I am mostly concerned with the fact that we are putting our American servicemen and women in jeopardy here. We're putting them in jeopardy in case they ever get shot down. We're putting them in legal jeopardy. They could be brought up in international criminal courts. And so what we're doing here is taking those professionals or utmost professionals and putting them into harm's way. And that's what bothers me the most about what Pete Hegseth is doing. He is the least qualified Secretary of Defense in our nation's history, and he's very cavalier about doing things. The fact of the matter is only Congress can decide that we can go to war, and there was no such declaration.
Those words landed hard. Viewers reacted instantly. Commentators lit up the social media. Because when a U.S. senator, especially a veteran, especially someone with her military background, says she has personally reviewed the footage and calls it murder, that's going to set off alarms everywhere. But then came the moment nobody expected. Less than a minute later, in the same interview, Senator Duckworth changed her answer. She admitted she hadn't actually seen the video at all. Instead, she said she had seen news reporting, summaries, descriptions, second-hand information, but not the video itself. That contradiction, that sudden reversal, is what caused the firestorm.
I just want to make sure that that I get this accurate. You have seen the classified video of this particular strike, the first strike, and then the double tap, as it's known.
No, I've just seen what's been available in the media.
Okay.
I've read the full report, but I've not seen the actual video. I've requested to be able to see the actual video. I've also been actually asked to see the after action reports from the pilots and the drone operators, as well as intelligence debrief that all pilots and drone operators conduct after they have completed a mission.
Senator, you said at the beginning of this conversation that you don't even know if this boat was headed to the U.S. What makes you say that?
Well, the admiral who briefed Congress said that. And quite a few of the previous boat strikes, from what I've read, also were not all of them were headed towards.
Because the entire foundation of her accusation was built on the idea that she had personally reviewed the evidence. And the truth is simple. If you haven't seen the video, you can't speak as though you have. Even people who normally support her were taken aback. People who dislike her went into overdrive, and independents, the folks watching from the middle, were left thinking, wait, what just happened? It wasn't just a slip of the tongue. It wasn't a minor detail. It was a total reversal on the central claim she had just made. And that's why it hit so hard. Let's be clear. This wasn't just a gotcha moment. This wasn't just another political soundbite. This exposed something much deeper about the current political climate. Because today, politics, especially on TV, rewards fast answers, strong emotions, extreme statements, dramatic language, instant certainties. But that style comes with a price. When you go too far, too fast, you can undermine your own argument, even if parts of your criticism are legitimate. People expect accuracy, especially from someone with a military record. People expect clarity, especially when discussing serious accusations. And when those expectations are broken, trust evaporates. In other words, a strong argument built on shaky facts collapses instantly. That's exactly what happened here. Now let's talk about what this means. Because the political world doesn't operate in silence. Everything echoes. Everything has consequences. Here is what this moment triggered. Critics used it to attack her credibility. They said she jumped to conclusion without confirming evidence. Supporters were forced into uncomfortable explanations. Some said she misspoke. Others said she misunderstood the question. But the clip is the clip. The administration came under even more pressure. Her claim, even if she corrected it added fuel to a fire already burning. Opponents framed her as impulsive. They said, "How can you accuse the government of murder based on video you didn't watch?" Again, whether you agree with her political isn't the issue. This is about strategic communication, accuracy, and leadership. Because when someone of her stature speaks, it carries weight, and when that weight is thrown before all the facts are clear, it can damage public trust in the entire process. There is a big lesson here, not just for Senator Duckworth, but for everyone in public life. In the age of viral media, the pressure to look decisive is enormous. Politicians feel they need to respond instantly, speak dramatically, make bold accusations, show emotion, appear tough, take a stand before all the facts are in. But the truth is the opposite. Real leadership requires showing down, checking facts, asking questions, separating certainty from speculation, and keeping credibility intact. Once credibility cracks, it doesn't matter how good the message is. People stop listening. This moment wasn't just a slip, it was a warning. A warning about the dangers of rushing to judgment. A warning about the pressure of television politics, and a warning about how quickly a strong message can collapse if the foundation isn't solid. So, where does this go from here? Here is what to watch. Will the video ever be released to Congress or the public? If it is, well, know whether Duckworth's underlying criticism has merit or not. Will she double down or dial back? Politicians often pick one of two paths: push harder or quietly move on. Which path she chooses will tell us a lot. How will the administration respond? If she was wrong, they'll use this to defend themselves. If she was right, they will face more scrutiny. Will other lawmakers distance themselves? Politicians hate being tied to someone else's misstatement. Watch for public repositioning. Will this clip surface in future campaigns? Absolutely. Moments like this don't disappear. They become ammunition. This moment will echo far beyond CNN. So, let me end on this. You can disagree with Tammy Duckworth. You can agree with her. You can be outraged or supportive or somewhere in the middle. But one thing is undeniable. This moment will follow her, not because of what she believed, but because of what she claimed before verifying it. In politics, your voice is your power, your credibility is your shield, and your accuracy is your foundation. If any one of those cracks, everything above it falls. And that's exactly what we saw. My message to every leader is simple. Slow down, check twice, speak once, and never ever claim certainty until you have looked at the evidence yourself. Because the world is watching, and one sentence, one contradiction, one correction can change everything. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay smart, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Patrick K Reports. Thank you.